brand new partial week of broadcast excellence. The EIB network, 800-282-2882. But I get to your phone calls in a jiffy here, folks. Hang on just a second. I got a couple more sound bites I want to get to from this list of 8 that happened when I wasn't even here. Let me see if I go over here. Okay. I guess let's grab number 6. It'll be Anderson Cooper, 99 on CNN. A week ago yesterday. That's how old this is. Monday, November the 9th.
I guess the end game here for the president is setting up his post-White House life of grievance and, being a Rush Limbaugh type figure, I suppose, and a kingmaker in the Republican Party.
Now, why do they, folks, they wonder why we react post-White House life of grievance? The Democrat Party is the party of grievance. I cannot tell you how this frosts me. These people have a grievance against this country. These people think this country is a grievance. The founding of this country is a grievance that people need saving from. We're a slave state. We're discriminatory. We're unfair, unjust, and immoral. Hey, run around now. Trump is going to live a White House life of grievance. One thing Trump doesn't do is have grievance. It's not in his mindset. It's not in his frame of mind to have a grievance about anything. You telling me he doesn't complain? No, he's like anybody else if he thinks injustice has been done to him, but he doesn't run around, doesn't govern his attitude. I've played golf with Trump after some bad news from the Mueller investigation, bad news leak, supposedly bad news. Stuff that would have made me cancel the game. But he didn't, and he didn't even reference it. It didn't affect him at all. He was a great host. He had no grievance whatsoever. This is just, again, a collection of absurd beliefs and thoughts from people who've not even taken the time to get to know the man. And obviously, the resentment they have for this guy goes far deeper than we know. They think they've beaten him, and they still can't get over it. They still can't get over that he beat them in 2016. They're never going to get over it. And I'm not a person of grievance. The people of grievance in this country are all on the left. And you know that every victim that you can think of, the Democrat Party has created. Those are the people who have grievances with America. They have been programmed and formatted to have those grievances. It's what defines them as Democrats or leftists. Trump wants to become a Rush Limbaugh type figure, kingmaker in the Republican Party. Anderson, I don't know if you've noticed, he already is that. The Republican Party is Donald Trump's. It's now up to him to decide what he wants to do with it. Okay, we have a couple more. This is Jane Mayer. Jane Mayer is at the. Did you see that the New Yorker fired Jeffrey Toobin? Did you? I was shocked. Jeffrey Toobin was canned because he'd gone out there and done something horrible. What did Toobin do? Oh, that's right. He was doing the old the self-Lewinsky. That's what he's doing. He's doing the self-Lewinsky out there on a Zoom call. That's right. And can you believe they fired him for that? I mean, we're talking about the New Yorker here. This is the kind of thing, it's usually a resume enhancement for Democrats, and especially Democrats in the media. I mean, that was, and he tweeted out, here it is, Jeffrey Toobin. I was fired today by the New Yorker after 27 years as a staff writer. I will always love the magazine. I will miss my colleagues, and I will look forward to reading their work. I will also miss performing self-Lewinsky's during Zoom calls during the pandemic. Hey, Jeffrey, you continue to do that. Anyway, Jane Mayer works at the New Yorker. Jane Mayer, I've known her since, 1989. Shortly after I moved to New York. Long story. I can tell it doesn't matter, but I've known her that long, and she's written some really hateful stuff about people like Clarence Thomas and other exemplary figures on the right. She was on NPR Here and Now a week ago, and the host is named Robin Young, and the question, there's speculation that Trump could become a talk show host. There's speculation out there that Trump could become a replacement for Rush Limbaugh. What do you think of that?
Some of the people who've known Trump well are a little skeptical because a talk show, as you know, is a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort to plan a really good show. And someone like Rush Limbaugh has worked very hard at it. Whatever you think of his show, he really has put a lot of effort into it. And people who know Trump say it might be too much work.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate her awareness. She's one of the few who thinks there's more to this than just sitting down behind the microphone and giving out the number and saying, Democrats suck, call me. There's more to it than that. She knows that. But the idea that Trump doesn't work hard, another myth. Forget the presidency. The man built the Trump organization. You don't do that sleeping until noon. You don't do that sitting on your butt. The man owns property, moves money. He has all kinds of ways that he is engaged in to meet people that he needs to meet, to do deals that he needs to do. Now, you can sit there and you can decry and you can whine, you can moan about the way Trump's done. The idea that he doesn't work. When does the guy sleep? This is a guy that was doing 5 rallies a day. How can you say something like that doesn't work? Now, I know what she means, but I'm telling you, she's speaking here in another misnomer that Trump doesn't work hard because it's part of fitting the mold that Trump should have never been president. The job's too big for him. He doesn't know what he was doing. He never knew what he was doing. And it's just, he doesn't know how to work hard and so forth. But what she's also doing is letting people know that this is not, walk in the park, doing a program like this, and that Trump can't do it. What this means is they are scared to death Trump would end up on the radio. They are scared to death. I'm not going to go through the scenarios, but I guarantee you they are worried about that. Why, Rush? Why would he worry about somebody on the radio? Well, why are they worried about me? But they are. I have yet to raise anybody's taxes. I have yet to tell anybody they can't have Thanksgiving. I have yet to tell anybody they can or can't wear a mask. I have yet to allow the wanton destruction of a city that I run, because I don't run a city. I, frankly, don't do any of those things. And the idea here that this is the modus operandi, it's the thing they engage in. Anyway, one more bite. Time is going. This is Douglas Brinkley. Trump is plotting his ex-presidency in Palm Beach next to Rush Limbaugh. This is CNN from Sunday, program called Newsroom. The anchor, Pamela Brown. The question to Douglas Brinkley, it's been 8 days since the race was called for Biden. The race was called for Biden by a bunch of news networks. The race has not been certified for Biden yet. And there's starting to be, some Democrats are starting to figure that out, but more on that in a minute. 8 days, she says, since the race was called for Joe Biden, the president's still tweeting disinformation about the election, saying it was stolen from him. And the transition hadn't even been able to start for Biden. What does it mean for the country? And how much of a danger is this for the country? How complicit are fellow Republicans and allies of the president who are not speaking out about this.
Donald Trump is obviously plotting his ex-presidency right now. And it very well may be at Mar-a-Lago next to Rush Limbaugh. Maybe his friends at Newsmax, who's located in Palm Beach, will work as a new network with Donald Trump. But this is not an ex-president that's going to raise money for a library and write a memoir only. He sees himself as a revolutionary force of nature.
Right, so Trump's down there at Mar-a-Lago, and I say down there because he's south, where I am. So Trump's down there at Mar-a-Lago, and he's plotting. He's plotting next to me. He's plotting his post-presidency next to me. And maybe his friends at Newsmax over in West Palm Beach. By the way, just a minor little correction. But, you know, Mr. Snerdley, I didn't know these guys know where I am. I'm beginning to... It allowed him to resolve $40,000 in tax debt on terms that he could afford. You need this kind of help? Call America's #1 most trusted tax relief firm, Optima Tax